Late one evening, Ben Affleck settled into a softly lit room in his Los Angeles home, cameras rolling for an interview that promised openness but not confession. He adjusted in his chair, glanced at the camera lens, and for the first time since his separation from Jennifer Garner, spoke with unguarded honesty. "I owe both Jennifer and myself a transparency I never fully embraced," he began, voice steady but edged with emotion. The simple admission shattered years of scripted sound bites and guarded press statements. It was a moment fans had long awaited, a reckoning with a marriage once celebrated as Hollywood's golden union and then dissected amid divorce rumors. As that interview aired, the world leaned in. What followed was more than tabloid fodder. It was a journey into the heart of a relationship shaped by love, ambition, and the relentless glare of fame. Their story began like a classic screenplay. In late 2001, Ben, fresh from triumphant roles in blockbusters and acclaim as a director, crossed paths with Jennifer, a beloved actress known for her warmth and grace. Their connection was immediate, a shared smile on set, late-night dinners at cozy West Hollywood spots, and laughter that echoed off Pasadena streets. Friends recalled how they complimented each other, her calm grounding his intensity, his bold creativity inviting her to step into new adventures. Within months, engagement buzz filled Hollywood's tabloids, and in June 2005, beneath a canopy of white roses and old oaks in Riceboro, Georgia, they exchanged vows before family, friends, and an audience eager to celebrate their happiness. In the early years of marriage, they welcomed 3 children: Violet, Serafina, and Samuel. Parenthood enriched their bond, offering daily reminders of purpose beyond Oscar campaigns and box office tallies. Weekend soccer games, playdates in Brentwood parks, and backyard movie nights painted scenes of domestic bliss. Yet beneath those moments, pressures simmered. Ben's career demanded long shoots and globetrotting promos, while Jennifer navigated her path in indie films, television series, and philanthropic work. They juggled schedules with an unspoken pact to prioritize family, but cracks emerged when projects overlapped and tensions ran high during red-eye flights. Each concession and compromise wove a fragile pattern, one capable of holding beauty but vulnerable to the strain of impossible expectations. By 2015, paparazzi snaps captured quiet carpool lines and shared coffees, projecting unity. But insiders whispered of late-night edits, where Ben returned home drained, and of on-set tension when Jennifer assumed creative roles he once exclusively owned. Tabloids amplified rumors of a rift, and fans speculated about second chances and covert counseling. Both denied split rumors with carefully crafted statements. "We're committed to making this work," Ben insisted in one press junket. "Jennifer and I have challenges like anyone else," he added elsewhere. Yet the micro-expressions caught in candid footage, forced smiles, tight hugs, hinted at a deeper unease. In June 2018, representatives announced their decision to part ways. The headlines blared "Divorce of the Decade," and social media lit up with sorrow, judgment, and divided loyalties. Unlike heated celebrity feuds, their separation was remarkably civil. Joint statements praised mutual respect, and co-parenting plans unfolded with impressive coordination. They continued attending school recitals together and vacationed as a family in stories and Instagram posts, seeking to shield their children from the worst of public scrutiny. Yet the questions lingered. What had driven 2 people so admired to sever a bond that once seemed unbreakable? Which unmet needs, unspoken resentments, or unavoidable shifts in identity had created such distance? In the aftermath, both actors moved forward, Ben into high-profile projects and later new relationships, Jennifer into television roles and solo adventures. Yet neither escaped constant commentary. Every smile she shared at a premiere sparked rumors of rebound, and every candid remark he made on a talk show invited speculation about regret. Entertainment news outlets pored over rental records, social feeds, and cryptic captions, desperate for clues. Beneath the speculation, a simple truth went unspoken. Real feelings are rarely served in sound bites, and emotional truths often demand a level of vulnerability many avoid. Until now, when Ben uttered that pivotal confession, "I owe both Jennifer and myself a transparency I never fully embraced," He opened a door into his own experience of intimacy, failure, and accountability. Tonight, we'll step through that door. We'll revisit the milestones of their marriage, the soaring highs of awards seasons and family milestones, the hidden stresses of career peaks, the unspoken moments that built walls brick by unacknowledged brick. We'll hear from those whose lives intersected with theirs, friends who offered counsel, colleagues who witnessed the quiet sacrifices, children's coaches who saw their devotion in everyday acts. We'll analyze why it took years for Ben to articulate the truth and how that truth reframes our understanding of love under the microscope. Along the way, we'll contrast the pristine portraits of Hollywood romance with the messy reality of two imperfect humans learning, stumbling, and sometimes drifting apart. We'll explore how fame both amplified their connection and intensified their challenges, how public personas clashed with private needs, and why admitting truth, no matter how uncomfortable, can liberate rather than destroy. By peeling back layers of polished PR narratives and unfiltered rumors, we aim to uncover the human story at the center, a narrative of growth, regret, resilience, and ultimately, the quiet power of honesty. As Ben leans back in that chair and offers his apologies and acknowledgments, he reminds us that even the most celebrated marriages can harbor secrets. His confession is an invitation to reconsider assumptions, to recognize the complexity of love, and to appreciate the courage it takes to say the words that truly matter. Stay with us as we navigate this candid testimony, seeking not to judge, but to understand the real choices and heartfelt revelations that shape a life lived in the public eye. From their first date at City Walk Hollywood, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner captivated cameras and hearts. She arrived in a sunlit floral dress, radiant as she stepped onto the patio. He waited with a grin, nerves hidden behind casual charm. That afternoon, amid mimosas and celebrity whispers, a chemistry sparked in ways both cinematic and authentic. It felt spontaneous, yet destined. The type of meeting fans later called the birth of Hollywood's next power couple. Within months, they moved in together, juggling shared projects and late-night screenplays. When Ben directed Gone Girl and Jennifer filmed Arrested Development, their worlds collided on talk shows and late-night panels. Interviews often ended in laughter as they traded affectionate banter. Press outlets praised their dynamic synergy, framing them as Hollywood's answer to power duos of eras past. Yet beneath these glowing profiles lay early signs of mounting tension. Long hours on set meant missed bedtime routines with their children. School drop-offs, so carefully choreographed amid rented palm trees and valet parking, sometimes slipped into hurried phone checks. Jennifer's role as producer on her candid TV projects demanded her full attention, drawing applause from critics but costing precious family time. Ben's pursuit of method acting, weight fluctuations, and rigorous character research extended shoots, leaving Jennifer to shoulder more parenting nights than either had anticipated. As the children grew, milestones arrived. A first smile, a wobbling first step, a school play, framed by smiling snapshots but underscored by fractured calendars. Jennifer mastered the art of simultaneous teleprompter reads and toddler diaper changes. Yet the internal ledger of sacrifices began tallying. She later confided in friends, "I loved our adventures, but sometimes I wondered if we were drifting." In private moments, their disagreements centered on career choices, role selections, and the irresistible lure of new challenges. Ben longed for auteur projects that pushed boundaries, while Jennifer gravitated toward ensemble casts and family-adjacent narratives. His focus on gritty dramas sometimes clashed with her desire for collaborative, diverse roles. Tabloid headlines framed these divergences as midlife crises or personality conflicts, but the real divide felt more like two artistic callings competing for a shared stage. By 2013, rumblings of strain converged with an industry-wide reckoning on work-life balance. Conversations around mental health, parental leave, and the impact of fame on young minds gained traction. While peers navigated less public paths, Ben and Jennifer remained under relentless scrutiny. Magazine covers depicted bright smiles over Photoshop perfection, yet social media comments spewed unsolicited advice on how to save their marriage. Through it all, they learned to mask cracks with carefully curated images, public support, and synchronized Instagram posts. Yet backstage, The unspoken tension found escape in sharp retorts over voicemails, cold shoulders in luxury caravans, and the slow erosion of eye contact across crowded award show tables. The dynamic that once felt electric now sparked in brief moments, only to fade under the glare of ambition. If their union bore a fault line, it was this. Both craved greatness, yet defined it differently. He sought transformation through risk. She found meaning in connection. Their love story remained a testament to the power of two forces colliding. Yet the collision began to fracture the foundation that it was only a matter of time before those fissures reached breaking point. And when they did, the world witnessed a separation that was neither dramatic nor acrimonious, but simply inevitable, a convergence of diverging priorities that no amount of love could fully reconcile. Yet beneath the heartbreak, seeds of understanding and empathy were planted. Both began questioning how they might have lost themselves in their individual definitions of success. Those initial cracks held lessons that would later surface in Ben's candid admission that transparency, though overdue, was necessary for genuine healing. As we delve deeper into that confession, keep in mind this tapestry of love, ambition, and unspoken needs. For in every unshared thought and unmet expectation lies the truth waiting to be named. And it is that truth Ben finally embraces, reshaping not just his narrative, but ours as well. Through his forthcoming interview, Ben will unpack moments from red carpet smiles to quiet carpool confessions, revealing the delicate balance between image and authenticity. This honesty promises to illuminate the unseen corners of love tested by fame. By the time their divorce papers were signed, Ben and Jennifer had already begun to rewrite their lives in parallel scripts. Their co-parenting practice anchored them: school concerts, soccer practices, bedtime stories. Yet behind those moments, both harbored unspoken reflections on how things unraveled. In his new interview, Ben revisits a pivotal turning point. The week he first acknowledged feeling lost inside his own marriage. He describes it vividly. A Tuesday afternoon in 2016, when he returned home from a grueling shoot in Boston. Jennifer greeted him at the door, arms full of grocery bags, cheeks flushed from wrangling 3 kids and coordinating playdates. He noticed a certain weariness in her eyes, an exhaustion deeper than physical fatigue. He tried to lighten the mood with a joke, but she barely smiled. Instead, she offered a tight, distracted hug before disappearing into the house to prepare dinner. That day, he says, I realized we were like 2 ships passing in the night, docked at the same port, but sailing different routes. That realization sparked a period of intense introspection. He'd always been candid about struggles with anxiety and workaholism, but never about how those issues seeped into his marriage. In the interview, he confesses that he used work as a refuge, burying himself in back-to-back projects to avoid confronting the emotional distance growing between them. I was chasing deadlines, scripts, reviews, anything that justified my nights away, he admits. Meanwhile, Jennifer held the domestic realm together, transforming their Brentwood home into a staging ground for stability. She loved him fiercely, but the imbalance took its toll. She became the parent to me, too, he reflects, and I felt more like a guest in my own family. Jennifer's perspective, shared through close friends, was equally poignant. She celebrated Ben's successes, Oscars, premieres, directorial acclaim, yet wondered if the man receiving accolades still recognized the person she married. In hushed late-night calls with her childhood best friend, she spoke of feeling adrift in a sea of expectations. She adored being a mother, but at times felt the marriage contract obligated her to shoulder burdens she never signed up for alone. Those conversations, never intended for public ears, paint a portrait of a couple wrestling with roles that no contract or vow could fully define. During that same period, they sought counseling, an attempt to bridge the growing gap. In private sessions, a therapist encouraged them to rediscover shared joys beyond red carpets and ratings. They tried date nights, impromptu dinner reservations, morning drives with the kids, weekend hikes. For a moment, hope flickered, but each rekindled smile seemed to dim too quickly under the weight of unmet needs and unhealed wounds. The therapist noted an emerging pattern: Ben's fear of vulnerability and Jennifer's fear of abandonment, combining to create a silent standoff neither knew how to break. They were two strong currents pulling the same rope in opposite directions. The therapist later observed that as their children entered adolescence, the stakes rose. Violet and Serafina started voicing confusion over split holidays, while Samuel asked innocent but painful questions about why mom and dad no longer lived together. The kids, ever intuitive, sensed tension and tried soothing both parents in their own ways. Hand-drawn, I love you notes, midday FaceTime hugs, whispered thank you when they least expected it. Both Ben and Jennifer credit their commitment to prioritizing the children's well-being for preserving respect and avoiding bitter conflicts. Yet the daily reality of walking through co-parenting checklists deepened the ache of what was lost. Behind the scenes of their amicable separation, Ben grappled with guilt. He felt he'd let ambition eclipse connection, trading moments that could never be rescheduled for work that could always be renegotiated. In his interview, he says, I realized too late that every script I wrote paled against the story we started together. That admission, when it surfaced on camera, reverberated because it cut through the veneer of celebrity. It wasn't about scandal or blame. It was about taking ownership of choices that real people make in real relationships. This candid self-appraisal prepared the ground for the bombshell arrival in that same interview. After recounting late-night counseling, missed recitals, and whispered apologies in hospital hallways during parental visits, Ben paused, looked into the lens, and confessed that he'd never before spoken these truths. He apologized to Jennifer, directly and personally, for not showing up when he was most needed. He acknowledged that his silence had inflicted pain he couldn't undo. It was the hardest scene to write, he said, but the most necessary one to perform. That moment marked a turning point in public perception. Fans heard a man not hedging or deflecting, but naming regret and seeking forgiveness. Jennifer, for her part, issued a statement praising his honesty, acknowledging her own regrets, and expressing gratitude for his ongoing commitment to co-parenting. The mutual gesture reframed their post-divorce relationship from mere civil alliance to a model of mature accountability. In an age of celebrity spectacle, their choice to own mistakes and extend grace resonated deeply. We'll explore how that interview reshaped both their personal growth and the broader conversation on marriage under pressure. We'll look at how they rebuilt their lives, individually and together as parents, infusing transparency and empathy into each new chapter. We'll see how Ben's acknowledgement of truth carved a path toward healing, and how Jennifer's quiet strength set an example for forging new beginnings without resentment. Their journey offers a reminder. The bravest admission is often the one that lets us rediscover love in its most honest form. In the days following Ben's heartfelt admission, the public response was as swift as it was varied. Social media feeds overflowed with praise for his candor. Hashtags like #RealLoveTruth and #BenOwnsUp trended worldwide, while fan forums buzzed with appreciation for a star willing to expose his vulnerabilities. Columnists lauded the moment as a watershed in celebrity culture, a rare instance when honesty eclipsed spin. Yet amidst the applause, a chorus of critics questioned whether this vulnerability was calculated or genuine. Gossip blogs dissected the timing, noting Ben's recent career resurgence and speculating that the confession served as strategic publicity rather than pure remorse. In interviews on morning shows, hosts probed for deeper motives. Is this a turning point for transparency in Hollywood marriages? They asked. Ben's steadiness in responding, acknowledging both personal failings and industry realities, began shifting the narrative from tabloid fodder to a broader conversation about accountability and growth. Jennifer, too, felt the echo of his words. She watched public reactions with a mixture of relief and guarded optimism. In private conversations with close friends, she admitted relief that unspoken tensions had finally surfaced, allowing genuine dialogue to replace speculation. Yet she remained mindful of the privacy their children still deserved. When journalists reached out for her own reflections, she declined on-camera interviews, preferring a written statement. Ben's honesty gave us both the gift of clarity. We continue as devoted co-parents and supportive friends, grateful for new chapters defined by mutual respect. Her measured tone reinforced the couple's commitment to unity, even as they pursued distinct paths. Professionally, the confession seemed to infuse both careers with unexpected momentum. Ben's next directorial project, a deeply personal drama exploring the complexities of fatherhood, suddenly attracted A-list actors and elevated studio backing. Insiders speculated that studios felt reassured by his renewed focus and authenticity, qualities the interview had underscored. Jennifer, meanwhile, saw a resurgence in roles that spoke to her strengths. Characters navigating family dynamics, balancing strength and vulnerability in ways that mirrored her real-life resilience. Casting directors noted a heightened interest in working with her, crediting the widely admired stance she took in response to Ben's admission. Their children, Violet, Serafina, and Samuel, observed the shifting tides with characteristic honesty. In rare interviews, the eldest conveyed pride in her parents' willingness to grow. It showed me that admitting mistakes is okay, that love isn't perfect, it's a work in progress. The younger two, though too young to parse headlines, absorbed the renewed warmth during family visits, where laughter and playful teasing reminded everyone of bonds that transcended past hurts. Beyond the personal sphere, Ben and Jennifer's experience sparked discussions industry-wide. Late-night hosts dedicated segments to the topic of truth in relationships, interviewing psychologists about the impact of honesty on long-term partnerships. Marriage counselors noted an uptick in inquiries from couples seeking to emulate the Affleck's model of transparent dialogue. Even dating services seized on the moment, promoting campaigns that celebrated vulnerability as a cornerstone of lasting love, charity benefits, and speaking engagements. Both actors began referencing the episode, not as a marketing ploy, but as a lived lesson. Ben shared anecdotes about phone calls erased from his memory by busy schedules, underscoring the value of presence over perfection. Jennifer spoke about the unspoken burdens she carried, encouraging others to voice their needs before fatigue and resentment festered. Their aligned, yet independent voices created a composite message that transparency can heal, but only when met with empathy and action. In Hollywood's award season run-up, nominations and red carpet appearances offered further proof of this shift. At the Golden Globe ceremony, Ben accepted a supporting actor nod for his intense portrayal of a flawed father, dedicating the honor to everyone brave enough to tell their own truth, publicly or privately. Jennifer, attending as presenter, referenced her own resilience in introducing a category celebrating collaborative ensemble work. Paparazzi flashes captured their appreciative nods, symbolizing a partnership redefined, not by marital status, but by shared values. Meanwhile, entertainment journalists documented a subtle change in how celebrity couples conducted themselves. Press kits began including statements about personal growth, social impact, and mental health advocacy. Publicists embraced narratives that valued authenticity over glossy perfection. The Affleck's decision to reveal deep-seated truths created an encouraging precedent that fame need not demand silent facades, and that stars could use their platforms to model real human experiences. Throughout these developments, Ben and Jennifer maintained an unspoken agreement to keep private matters out of the spotlight, even as they wielded their public voices responsibly. They coordinated statements to protect their children, prioritized family events over promotional tours, and set boundaries with journalists. By doing so, they demonstrated that authenticity and privacy are not mutually exclusive, but complementary elements in a healthy life under scrutiny. As this chapter unfolds, the lasting impact becomes clear. Two people, once defined by a fairy tale romance and then by a high-profile divorce, have reshaped their narrative through the power of truth. Their journey reminds us that love evolves, that accountability can foster renewal, and that real courage lies in revealing our imperfections. By transcending fear of judgment and embracing honesty, Ben and Jennifer have offered a template for resilient partnerships, one rooted not in flawless images, but in the unwavering commitment to grow, together and separately, in the pursuit of real connection. With public truths laid bare and mutual respect reaffirmed, the next chapters of Ben and Jennifer's lives unfolded in gentler rhythms. They navigated their evolving partnership as co-parents first and friends second, attending recitals and soccer games side by side. At a joint appearance to celebrate Violet's high school graduation, both expressed pride in her resilience and assured fans that their shared commitment to family remained unwavering. Their smiles in the audience were more genuine than any scripted red carpet pose, proof that rebuilding trust and mutual admiration could create moments of quiet grace. In private, both actors discovered fresh outlets for creativity unburdened by past constraints. Ben embraced roles that allowed him to explore vulnerability. His portrayal of a recovering addict in an indie drama drew praise for its honesty, and he accepted invitations to speak at mental health conferences, recounting his own journey through anxiety and ambition. Jennifer, following her passion for education and early childhood development, launched a nonprofit to support arts programs in underfunded schools. She frequently invited Ben to lend his voice at fundraising galas and served alongside him on panels discussing the intersection of mental health and creativity. Each event served as a reminder that collaboration could thrive in new arenas beyond the confines of marriage. Rumors of a romantic reconciliation remained firmly unfounded, but their professional and personal rapport deepened. Jennifer helped scout locations for Ben's directorial projects, offering notes on character arcs and emotional beats with the keen sensibility she'd honed on previous roles. Ben, in turn, celebrated Jennifer's successes, publicly praising her performance in a limited drama series at an awards ceremony and posting congratulatory notes on social media. Their followers viewed these gestures as small triumphs. Each public accolade became a testament to mutual respect and affection, reinforcing a new narrative of supportive partnership. Amid these milestones, both actors pursued new relationships at their own pace. Ben's more recent partnership with a fellow artist in the film industry drew measured media attention. He spoke candidly about balancing a new romance with co-parenting responsibilities during a feature interview. Jennifer's approach to love remained guided by discretion. Though she occasionally shared glimpses of her private life in lifestyle magazines, she emphasized that nurturing her own well-being and creative passions was a priority. Through candid discussions and gentle boundaries, they modeled healthy separation, demonstrating that love could evolve beyond romantic partnership without bitterness or blame. Simultaneously, their co-parenting dynamic evolved into a blueprint for blended families. As their children matured, they placed emphasis on open communication, scheduling weekly check-ins and family dinners that alternated between households. They collaborated on birthday celebrations and holiday traditions, ensuring Violet, Serafina, and Samuel felt anchored in stability despite changing circumstances. Friends marveled at how the former couple managed to move forward, shrugging off jealousy and resentment in favor of empathy and generosity, all while maintaining clear lines between personal space and communal parenting. The cultural impact of their candid interview and subsequent journey rippled beyond entertainment circles. Relationship experts and therapists frequently cited the Affleck's experience in workshops on healthy communication, and academic articles analyzing their story appeared in psychology journals. College courses on celebrity culture included modules on the power of authentic disclosure, using Ben's confession as a case study in narrative therapy. Even late-night talk show hosts devoted entire segments to truth and transformation, inviting couples in the audience to reflect on the courage of unfiltered honesty. Meanwhile, philanthropic collaborations strengthened their bond. Jennifer's Arts in Schools nonprofit partnered with Ben's mental health initiative, coordinating community outreach events that combined drama workshops with wellness seminars. The synergy between their causes underscored shared values and highlighted how transparency in personal struggles could translate into collective healing. These joint efforts attracted corporate sponsors and government support, enabling free ACT workshops for teens in inner-city community centers and driving policies that expanded parental leave for entertainment industry workers. At a widely attended benefit concert held in Los Angeles, the former couple surprised fans by taking the stage to introduce performances by emerging artists supported through their foundations. They addressed the audience together, Ben recalling how Jennifer's unwavering faith in him had inspired his most daring career turns, and Jennifer acknowledging that Ben's vulnerability had taught her the importance of voice and agency. Their words triggered a standing ovation, not for romance, but for partnership reimagined in service to community. That moment captured the power of grace and collaboration, transforming public perception. Finally, as Netflix announced a documentary series chronicling their journey, both Ben and Jennifer agreed to film certain segments. off-camera reflections, scenes with their children, and candid interviews exploring themes of imperfection and recovery. The project promises to highlight the unvarnished reality behind public perception, charting how two people can transition from lovers to co-parents to purpose-driven collaborators. Early trailers hint at intimate confessions, archival home videos, and moments of quiet tenderness between former spouses. This forthcoming series marks the culmination of a narrative arc that began in romantic promise, faced the crucible of separation, and emerged into a broader story about authenticity and hope. As this penultimate section draws to a close, it becomes clear that the truth Ben finally articulated did more than mend fences. It reshaped perceptions of personal accountability and resilience. By extending compassion to each other and to themselves, they revealed how grace under pressure can fortify trust, spark renewed creativity, and foster collective purpose. Their journey offers valuable lessons for anyone navigating complex relationships. Honesty demands courage, empathy fuels healing, and growth often emerges from admitting imperfections. In the final section, we will reflect on the lessons their story imparts for anyone seeking genuine connection and lasting bonds, beyond admiration, beyond expectation, and anchored in the power of unfiltered truth. Now, settled into lives defined by authenticity rather than image, Ben and Jennifer carry forward the lessons learned from their shared history. They have demonstrated that partnerships, even when they evolve beyond romance, can still be rooted in mutual respect, empathy, and accountability. Their willingness to acknowledge mistakes, to speak honesty aloud, and to extend grace to one another established a new paradigm. That truth can serve as both foundation and compass for relationships under pressure. When Ben reflects on the early days, runway premieres, and whirlwind romances, he now understands that the gloss of Hollywood often masks fragile realities. He has embraced a gentler approach to success, valuing consistency and presence over relentless pursuit of acclaim. Jennifer, empowered by her own evolution, finds meaning in projects that foster community, mentorship, and creative expression, unbound by past expectations. They each stepped away from the notion that love must follow a single narrative, and in doing so, discovered freedom and fulfillment in unexpected ways. Their children, Violet, Serafina, and Samuel, benefit daily from this model of transformation. They witness that love does not always look the same, and that endings can birth new forms of connection. In joint family gatherings, they laugh at inside jokes that span house addresses and recall adventures from beach vacations both parents attended separately. They learn that steadfast support can live outside the definition of marriage, and that co-parenting anchored in honesty can nurture stability amid change.